Hey everyone! Today in this video, I am grooming Abby the Chiweenie Aussie mix, and she is getting a 7-blade shave down. What I like to do before the bath to save on drying time is I just take my wide 7-blade on my clippers and I'm just going to go over her body and get off all of this excess hair before we start the bath. There's no point in leaving it on and wasting time drying, so I just go ahead and clip her down real quick just to save me a little time. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to be bathing her in a hypoactive pre-wash, and then I'm going to do her face with Nature Specialties Lavaderm. And then for her body today, I chose Almond Crisp, also by Nature Specialties. These brands of shampoos I really prefer over anything else. They just make the coat extra squeaky clean, and they are made of all natural products, so they are safe on the skin and they won't irritate. Also, between EnviroGroom and Nature Specialties, which are the two brands that we use, there are many different scents and different uses you can get out of each shampoo. Like Almond Crisp, it crisps up the coat and leaves it super shiny. The Lavaderm can be used to soothe skin irritations. I just like it because it smells really good on the face and it lasts for quite a while. So I'm just going to wash her down real quick in the Almond Crisp and make sure she's all clean. And Abby comes in to see me every 4 to 6 weeks. I think it's 6 weeks. So she's not very dirty. I only have to bathe her once. So this doesn't take too long for me to do. And then her brother, Winston, the Dachshund, is also here today. So I set her in the kennel for just a little bit to dry while I wash him, and then I'll get her back out and finish her drying. Since I put her in the kennel for maybe 15 minutes while I wash Winston, I'm just going to towel dry her really well so she's not dripping wet. And then I put a kennel dryer on her for just a few minutes on low. And then I'm going to clip and Dremel her nails real quick so I don't have to do it after I get her back out. The ear cleaner we use is from Nature Specialties, and this does really good at drying up the rest of the water that may have gotten into her ears during the bath, but I do pretty well at not getting any in there. Then I'm going to use a Happy hoodie to dry her, just to protect her ears. She doesn't really mind. Then I'm going to go ahead and dry her with my high velocity dryer. It's the K9 Fluffer. And this one has a really good range of low to high, so I can do small dogs and then also large dogs as well. And here, Abby just really wants to tell me how much she loves me, so she gives me a little kiss. And then another. And then another. Next, after Abby's all dry, my process is I start with her sanitary. So I take my Walberveras on the shortest setting, which is a 40, and I do her paw pads and get those cleaned out really well. And then I'll change it to the longest setting, which is a 9, I think, but I usually use a 10. And then I'll get all her belly, her privates, her underarms, all nice and clean and shaped up. So after she's dry, I'm just going to take my wide 7-blade again and start at the chin and try and blend her head into her neck. I'm just going to go down her whole body with this. And right here under her ears, I'll take that extra fluff and skim that off. And I'll do that on both sides. And then when I start on her head, I usually take a 4-blade when I do shave downs like this. And then I'll go on the top of her head, and then I'll blend her cheeks into her neck. So go from a 4 to a 7. And that's how I usually get a really nice blend to where it doesn't look like the dog has a bobblehead. And you can also hear Winston having a fit in the background. He literally barked the entire time, and he usually does. I don't think he's kenneled at home, or he just really loves his sister and just wants all the attention. That's typical for him. This is why you can see that I wear my little my Samsung earbuds. These things stay in my ears the entire time I'm grooming. I just can't handle all the noises that go on, and it just keeps me focused. And most of the time, if I'm not recording, I'll listen to podcasts or music just to block out all the other noises, because excessive barking makes me angry. I don't like it. So just to avoid that altogether, if they're really barking, I'll use my earbuds, I'll play something, and then use my drying earmuffs on top of those, just for extra ear protection, because my ears are very sensitive. And over time, all the barking and the loud noises can damage your hearing. Now, since I'm done with my clippers on her body, for right now, I save her head for last. I'll brush up all the hair between her toes and use my curves to clip those hairs in between her toes off. You can also use a 4-blade backwards to do this, but I like using my scissors. That's just my go-to. And Abby does pretty well with this. She's a very good girl. And then I'll just repeat this process for every single foot. Brush up with my slicker brush, and then take my curves and clean off the top and round it really well, and just make sure there's no hairs touching the floor. And this is where I said earlier how I'll take my 7-blade and, or my 4 actually, and get the hairs in front of her ears, her cheeks, and the back of her head all blended down into the 7 that I used earlier. I like to do this. It just leaves a cleaner look, and the blend is really nice from face to neck. Sometimes if the dog has a fluffier head, I'll use a 0 clip comb on top, and then I'll pretty much do the same. Do that, and then a 4, and then a 7 to blend if I'm using a 7 on the body. And this always turns out pretty well. And then I'll use a mixture of curves and thinners to clean up the hair around the ears, just to give a cleaner look. And just be very careful. I trust Abby. She doesn't really flinch too much when I'm around her ears. I would not suggest do this on any other dog that might flinch real hard. It's just I've been doing this for quite a while, so I kind of know what to expect from Abby. For Abby's tail, I just cleaned off the excess on the bottom and just made it a cute little fan tail. And that's pretty much it for Abby's groom today. Thanks everyone for watching.